In a time long past, nestled amidst rolling green hills, lay the kingdom of Tanzania. It was a place where peace was not merely a concept, but the very air the people breathed, ruled by the benevolent King Reuben and his gentle queen. Their greatest treasure was their daughter, Princess Anastasia. Even at the young age of 5, she was a beacon of light, filling the halls with sweetness and innocence. The kingdom's future rested securely upon her tiny shoulders. But every paradise holds a shadow. Deep within the castle walls, General Boris, a man consumed by jealousy and ambition, plotted. He watched the peaceful reign with a simmering resentment, believing the throne was rightfully his. Boris gathered his greedy confidants, and on one terrible night, the betrayal struck. A sudden, violent seizure of power silenced the peace. The kind king and queen were forcefully removed from their rightful place.
The kingdom is under new management.
Mean guards were immediately dispatched, their boots pounding the royal cobblestones. They searched frantically for the missing heir, knowing their failure would invite Boris's terrible wrath. Then, like a wisp of smoke, she was gone. Poof! The princess vanished into the night, her whereabouts becoming a profound, magical secret. The panicked guards had no choice but to lie. Boris, believing the fabricated tale that the princess was lost forever, celebrated his victory. He never suspected that the true challenge to his reign was not gone, but merely waiting, surviving outside the walls he now controlled. Anastasia was not alone. She was discovered and sheltered by Michiko, a wise and loyal teacher who had served the true royal family. Michiko understood that the princess needed more than protection. She needed preparation. For years, Michiko molded the princess, not just into a scholar, but a formidable warrior. She instilled strength, sharp intellect, and the combat skills required to reclaim a stolen crown. Anastasia grew, determined and powerful. The time had come. The princess, now a woman honed by discipline and vengeance, stepped back onto the soil of her kingdom. But she did not arrive as Anastasia, the lost princess, but as a legend waiting to be born. Her true identity was a weapon. She crafted a disguise, a mask, to hide the star birthmark that only a few knew. By night, she became Super Asia, a phantom of justice that struck fear into the hearts of oppressors. Super Asia became the invisible hand stopping the petty cruelties inflicted by King Boris's soldiers. Zipping across the rooftops and navigating the dark alleyways, she was the silent guardian the citizens desperately needed. In one small defining moment, she intervened. A grumpy, heavy-handed guard attempted to steal a child's simple pleasure, a juicy red apple. Super Asia acted instantly, protecting the innocent and retrieving the stolen fruit. The tales of Super Asia spread like wildfire, carried in hushed whispers and hopeful glances. She was more than a vigilante. She was a sparkly sign, proving that darkness could not fully extinguish the spirit of Tanzania.
It's true, hope has returned.
The constant reports of a masked hero driving Boris to a fever pitch of fury, that a mere girl, as he angrily dismissed her, could undermine his authority, was an intolerable affront to his massive ego.
Do not fail me!
Unbeknownst to Boris, he had a spy in his own ministry. Mr. Haruto, a kind minister, maintained a steadfast loyalty to the true monarchy. He had watched Super Asia's deeds with growing suspicion and hope. Haruto recognized the princess from a detail only a few privy servants ever knew. A tiny, star-shaped birthmark nestled just beneath her eye. Seeing Super Asia's uncovered profile in a fleeting moment confirmed his deepest suspicion. The lost princess had returned. Haruto sought out the hero in secret. Under the cover of night, in a secluded chamber, the minister and the warrior princess devised a plan of brilliant complexity. They would use Boris's greatest vanity against him. Every year, Boris staged a ridiculous play, a theatrical display glorifying his own illegal ascent to power. This year, Super Asia realized the play would have a very different, much more satisfying grand finale. The night arrived, the hall filled with anticipation. Soldiers, ministers, and common people gathered, ready to endure the king's annual self-congratulatory ritual. The tension was palpable, thick like the clay of the floorboards. The curtain rose. The audience gasped, a collective, silent shock running through the hall. On stage, bound securely with thick rope, lay the star of the night, General Boris himself. But the true shock came next. Seated high upon the recovered royal throne, radiant and powerful, sat Princess Anastasia.
People of the
Mr.
kingdom,
Haruto stepped
behold your
forward,
true and
his voice
rightful
ringing with
ruler,
authority,
Princess
proclaiming the
Anastasia
return
the
of the
First.
rightful queen.
All hail the queen!
A few loyalists to Boris tried to rally, attempting to storm the stage. But Anastasia merely smiled. The final details of her plan were already in motion. The doors were locked, and the traitors were trapped.
Brave
Simultaneously,
citizens,
while the usurper was distracted,
you have saved
loyal
us.
citizens carried out the most vital task,
We are forever
liberating the
in
true
your
monarchs.
debt.
King
Leave
Reuben and the
us.
queen were finally pulled from
We
the
are
dark,
forever
cold
in your
confines of the
debt.
dungeon. Boris, finally understanding the scope of his blunder, the fatal mistake of underestimating a girl, was silenced. He and his mean companions were promptly escorted to the very dungeons where his victims had suffered. The royal family was reunited in a powerful embrace, and the kingdom erupted in joyous celebration. Fairness and peace returned, ushered in by the new Queen Anastasia, who wore her crown with grace and wisdom. And the kingdom's greatest secret endured. By day, she governed as the noble Queen Anastasia, but when the shadows lengthened, the mask went on. The amazing hero, Super Asia, still watches over her kingdom, forever guaranteeing their peace. Hooray for Super Asia!